Droplets of condensation fall back to the Earth, eventually flowing back to the sea to begin the process all over again. Indeed, the water that all living organisms ingest has, over the eons, made this journey countless times.
Think about that. The water that once gave life to one of the original single-cell creatures has served again and again to support the vital force of billions of living things throughout the course of evolution. The water we drink has at some time sustained all developing life. Clams, fishes, dinosaurs, mammoths, and men. The water of the womb and the ocean are at once old and new.
Another extraordinary feature of planet Earth is our large companion, the Moon. Earth is the innermost planet in the solar system to have a satellite. The Moon, as it turns out, is absolutely devoid of the organic materials necessary to create or support life.
Our moon has been the focus of man's imagination for thousands of years. It's comforting to look at the moon like an old friend that's always going to be there. Well, don't get too comfortable. You see, the moon is on an expanding orbit around the Earth, and gradually it's escaping the Earth's gravitational pull. We'll see the first effects in about 50,000 years when total eclipses no longer occur. Eventually, the moon will leave us entirely and take off in its own orbit out into the solar system.
Ours is a planet of constant reformation. The movement of the Earth's continents, its volcanoes, and its wind and rain all continually mold and remold the face of the planet.
The Earth's crust is not as solid as we imagine. In fact, it is broken up into several pieces called tectonic plates, which float on a sea of intensely hot liquid rock known as magma. And these plates are in constant motion, moving across the Earth's surface, carrying islands and whole continents with them.
We'll return to the Practical Guide to the Universe on the Learning Channel.
Do you know which types of music you can say?
We now return to the Practical Guide to the Universe on the Learning Channel. The land masses of the Earth have moved so much that a map of the world from several million years ago is virtually unrecognizable. In fact, at the time of the early dinosaurs, or about 225 million years ago, all of the continents, as we know them, were joined together as one huge mass continent called Pangaea. Now, this movement of the Earth's surface goes on continuously, but the only time that we humans are made fully aware of it is during its most violent moments. We call these events earthquakes. Cataclysmic as they may seem to us, earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, fires, and floods function as integral mechanisms of the natural world. They have enormous destructive power, but they also have played a vital role in the creation and renewal of life on the Earth's surface. Some are dangers beyond our control, extraterrestrial threats of almost unimaginable destructive powers. An asteroid or comet crossing the Earth's orbit at the wrong moment could doom us, just as one probably doomed the dinosaurs. But the more immediate threats lie much closer to home. Human technology, self-interest, and ignorance may prove more dangerous than any extraterrestrial catastrophe. Since the dawn of the industrial age, we've pumped billions of tons of pollutants into the atmosphere. Even seemingly harmless gases, such as carbon dioxide, when dispersed in massive amounts, can cause overheating of the Earth's atmosphere. We've released tons of chemicals into the air that have eaten a hole in the ozone layer, the thin, high-atmosphere layer that protects us from deadly ultraviolet radiation. At the same time, we've released tons of ozone into the air of our cities, where it does more damage than good. At those low altitudes, ozone forms lung-clogging smog.
NASA has actually received proposals for taking the atmosphere in the cities, which is heavily polluted with the ozone, and pump that ozone up into the higher atmosphere where it could serve as a protective shield. Of course, when we look carefully at this, the amount of resources are just totally outrageous. For instance, there was one proposal that we take ozone generators and fly them on airplanes. But to fill in the ozone hole that forms in the Antarctic each year, you would have to have airplanes that were flying wingtip to wingtip 24 hours a day throughout this entire area the size of the United States. This kind of solution just does not work. The world is too big, and the kind of direct things we can do are just too small. That's not the solution.
It is important to remember that human beings, for all our image of self-importance, are just another species in the grand spectacle of life on planet Earth.
At first, humans functioned as any other predator atop the food chain. But what started out as an evolutionary advantage, a large brain, has worked too well. We've learned to exploit the Earth's resources and bend its forces to our own will and whim. It all began with the most innocent and basic of impulses, survival of the species.
But survival at what cost? It is theoretically possible for mankind to destroy nearly every form of life on the planet. We can do this spectacularly through a nuclear war, let's say, or slowly by our continued pollution of the environment. This then represents an awesome responsibility. No other creature on Earth has ever had the power that we have to control the destiny of so much.
It sounds like a dismal indictment of the human race, but we may redeem ourselves yet. Already we've launched movements to safeguard the natural environment of the Earth and minimize our enormous impact on it. We're turning the outward-looking lens of space technology back upon our own planet in the hopes of saving it.
I hope we're smart enough to do that. I mean, the mission of Planet Earth, which is lots of space platforms looking back at our planet, so we understand the global processes better. I think we have to do that, and so that's one of the near-term priorities of NASA. The better we understand that system, then we'll understand how much we can tamper with it and what various forms of pollution are really doing to our environment. We need that information badly.
Astronauts have shown us a world at once fragile and beautiful. This view of Earth from space changes people when they see it. The Earth, which seems so boundless from the surface, seems a small, precious gem set in the blackness of space when seen from high orbit. We're beginning to see the wisdom of channeling our ingenuity toward the betterment of our wonderful planet and away from the technology of war.
I think there'll be so much energy in the human race that it will conquer frontiers at a much more rapid rate than we have even in the past. I think we're almost to the point where we've just about figured out you don't have to have a war to make progress. And that's a lot of irony that so much spin-offs and byproducts and progress are almost directly attributed to the efforts for conducting a war. It'd sure be nice to see what we could do if we could finally learn to work together and all in one direction.
We know the dinosaurs at one time were the most dominant animals of the earth. They flourished for 160 million years. But because they lacked the ability to foresee changes in their environment, they all perished, never to be seen again. As the most intelligent creatures ever to evolve on this planet, we should learn from the dinosaurs. We must study and develop an understanding of exactly how the earth works. To do less is to ensure our own extinction. As we have seen, the earth can be either a delirious heaven or an unmitigated hell. It is for us to decide exactly where we want to live.